The night Boko fired his gun, the forest went silent. Not the normal quiet of night, but the kind of silence that feels like something is watching. Birds burst into the sky, wings beating against the darkness, and then came a sound no hunter ever wants to hear. In Aroko village, hunger had become part of daily life. The streams were drying, the farms were weak, and children went to bed with empty stomachs. When Boko told the elders he had seen large, deep footprints near the forest, hope returned to the village. The elder studied him carefully and finally said, "Go carefully." Inside his hut, Boko tied a red cloth around his arm while his wife watched in silence. "Be careful," she whispered. He nodded, but hunger was louder than caution. The forest swallowed him slowly that night. Crickets screamed, the wind shifted strangely, and even familiar paths felt different in the dark. Near the stream, he found the footprints again, fresh, deep, heavy. "Buffalo," he whispered to himself. Then the bush moved. Leaves shook. Heavy breathing filled the air. Without waiting, Boko fired. The gun echoed through the trees, and then came a weak human voice. Help! It was not a buffalo. It was Daimeji, a farmer, a father, lying on the ground with blood spreading across the dry leaves. When Boko carried the body back into the village, lanterns lit his path. For a brief second, people thought he had brought food. Then someone screamed. The next morning, men lowered Daimeji into the earth under a hard sun. His wife did not cry loudly, some pain is too deep for sound. She later sat outside her hut with her baby tied to her back, her eyes empty, as if something inside her had closed forever. Under the great Iroko tree, the village gathered. Boko stood barefoot in the dust and said quietly, "My hunger made me rush. I killed my brother." The elder raised his staff and declared that Boko would feed Daimeji's family before his own, that he would carry the burden of the life he had taken. Justice in Aroko was not only punishment, it was responsibility. Boko laid his gun on the ground, the same gun that once fed the village now carrying shame. After that day, hunters no longer moved alone. They wore bright cloth and shouted before entering thick bushes. Fear had entered the forest with them. Each sunrise, Boko walked Daimeji's farm before touching his own, trying to plant redemption under the same sun that had witnessed death. When Daimeji's son fell sick, Boko carried him on his back to the clinic. He later sold his rifle in the town market, his hands hesitating before letting it go. At night, the gunshot returned in his dreams. He would wake sweating, whispering a name the forest had already taken. As the years passed, the rains returned and crops grew green again, but some wounds do not follow the seasons. Daimeji's son grew taller, sometimes watching Boko in silence, not with hate, not with love, just questions. Then one evening, whispers spread through Aroko. Cattle had gone missing, and large footprints were seen near the forest. Dust rose on the far road, the police were coming. The footprints were deep and heavy, just like the ones from that night. People looked at Boko differently, because old mistakes cast long shadows. At sunset, Boko stood again at the edge of the forest, the same trees, the same darkness. The air felt heavy, not like evening but like warning. A wind pushed through the leaves, branches scraping like whispers. From inside the trees came a deep movement, slow, heavy, close. For a moment, the past returned. The gunshot echoed in his mind. Daimeji's voice followed it. A thick branch snapped loudly in the dark. The forest did not move after that, it simply waited. Boko stood there with no gun, no weapon, only his hands and the weight of 3 years. He did not step back. He did not step forward. He faced the darkness, and the darkness faced him. From deep within the trees, a shape moved, larger than a man, heavier than a cow. The forest held its breath. And this time, Boko did not have a gun.